guys, welcome back to another video. So in this video I'm going to show you guys another strategy that you can use using very little capital to grow a small account. So your max loss would be the amount you pay in premium for the options. Your max gains are pretty much unlimited. Now this one is called a Strangle, and it consists of buying very cheap out of the money calls and very cheap out of the money puts. And again, your investment is based on how many calls and puts you buy. But in this example, we're going to use one call option and one put option. Now, I only use this strategy when I'm expecting a big move on a stock. Now, I'm going to use AMD as an example. It does not mean I'm expecting a big move on AMD. But this is a great example to show you guys how this strategy would work. Now, sometimes when you're expecting a big move on a stock, you don't know the direction of where that move is going to go. It can go on the downside. It can go on the upside. So if you just bought some call options and the price of the stock goes down, then you lose all your money. If you bought some put options and the price of the stock goes up, then you lost all your money. Now, back in July of this year, AMD was trending right around $56 per share, give or take a few. And less than a month later, it made that big move that I was talking about, a big move on a stock. It made almost a $30 move on the upside. Now, if you would have bought some call options right when I was trending at 50-something dollars per share, the call options a month out would have been super cheap. I'm talking about maybe 20, 30, no more than $30 or so. Now, that's because they were further out on the strike price. And if you notice, when you're buying call options or you're buying put options, now the further out you go on the expiration date, it's going to be more expensive. The further out you go on the strike price out of the money, it's going to be more cheap. Now, let's assume we're expecting another $30 move or so on AMD, right? Let's assume we're expecting a $30 move, but we don't know on the direction of whether it's going to be an upside or a downside. What you can do is, let's say a $30 move on the upside would be somewhere around a $110 strike price. If you were to buy that call option, right now the market is closed. It's Saturday, so these numbers are going to be off a little, but let's say these are the numbers from Friday, okay? If you would have bought this call option on Friday, let's assume you pay the ask. $46 would cost to buy this call option for $46, expiration date November 20th. Strike price $110. Remember, we're expecting another $30 move. Now we go on the put side after we buy that, and we do a $30 on the out of the money, and let's do the $55 one. Now the bid is 10, the ask is 16. Let's assume you pay the ask, right? So your investment on the put side is 16. So far, your investment, you paid $46 for the call option. You paid $16 for the put option. Total investment is $62. If the trade would go against you, let's say AMD does not make that big move, it just kind of floats around the same price, then your max loss, the most money that you can lose, would be your $62. However, if that big move comes in either direction, your max gains are pretty much unlimited. A stock can keep dropping and dropping before expiration date. A stock can keep going up and up before expiration date. Your only job is simply to take the gains when you have them, right? So let's assume AMD makes a $30 move on the upside. Another, $30 move on the upside. That $46 investment, that call option, is now going to be worth around $300, $400, maybe $500. Now, what you would do is simply sell the option back, take the profits, and just let the other one expire worthless. you're only going to lose $16. Now, why would you just let it expire worthless? Well, you're only going to lose $16. Again, remember your total investment was only $62 altogether. Now, if AMD makes the big move, that $30 move on the downside, this $16 put option, same story. It's going to be worth somewhere around $300, $400, $500. It's unlimited basically because it can keep on dropping, right? Now, so again, you end up taking the profits on the put option and you let the other one expire worthless. Now, in this case, you invested only $62 to make, a few $100s in less than a month. And this is exactly what happened here, except on AMD, whoever bought call options right here, whoever bought them with a strike price of, let's say, $85, they bought these contracts super, super cheap. If they bought them a month out, they were paying maybe somewhere around $20, no more than $30 per contract. And, they ended up being worth a lot more. So they ended up more than tripling, their money, depending on how many calls and how many puts you buy. Now, again, I only do this strategy when I expect a big move on a stock, just like this one. This one is a very good example. Now, there was another big move on American Airlines back around June 1st, June 2nd. I made a video on the call options on how they work, how they can make you money. And so a few days later, American Airlines made a big jump all the way to like $22 per share. And so if those contracts, and I know this for a fact because I bought those contracts. On that video, I made an example how to take profits, but I ended up buying some contracts. The contracts were only worth $25 per contract, per call option. And in 3 days, they were already worth over $300, $300. So you can see how fast options can make you money, except, you have to be right on the direction of the stock, of where it's going. Now, again, you don't want to do this when the price of a stock is making $1 or $2, $3 moves. You're expecting a big move, whether it's on the downside or the upside. And so your max loss would only be the premium that you paid for the options, and gains are pretty much unlimited. All right, guys, so this is how it would look on the Robinhood platform. Trade options. We used November 20th as the example. Upper right-hand corner, select. Now remember, we're expecting a $30 move on the upside or the downside. Now on the upside, we can choose something like a $110 strike price. Select. Now we move over to the put side, buy put. And a $30 move on the downside, somewhere around a $55 strike price. Now, it's got to be a stock that you're expecting a big move on, and it's capable of making those big moves. Now, down at the bottom, right here, select, you're going to see Strangle. Review, one contract basically means you're basically buying a call and a put. And they're very, very cheap because they are out of the money so far on the strike price. Now, this is where things can actually pay off if the price of the stock does make that big move that you're expecting. You're investing very little capital. Your max loss is what you invested. Now, here on Robinhood, it's a little off by a few bucks, but you're investing this much capital to potentially make $300, $400, $500 or more. It's unlimited because the price of the stock can keep going up. It can keep going down before expiration. Now, your only job is to take the profits when you have them, basically. So this is all for this video, guys. If you guys like these kind of videos, just leave a like and comment down below. And until then, I'll see you guys on the next video.